Welcome back to WaterparkRanger, Let's Play Pikmin 2! Last episode, we reached this floor, the 7th of the Dream Den. So, in terms of sub levels, we are halfway down, but we are not halfway through. We still have probably a few more episodes worth of, probably quite a few actually before this is over. Maybe even more than it normally takes to complete a standard dungeon. This place is just so unmercifully long. So really all we have to kill here is a puffy bullhog, but because the bomb rocks are so dangerous, it's gonna make it really hard for us to actually... Whoa! See what I mean? These things are evil! We need to kill the Crane Dirigibugs first. We cannot let these things live. Like, this is literally a case of neither can live while the other survives, seriously. These things are just way too dangerous for their own good. The fortunate thing is, this is the last batch of Crane Dirigibugs we will ever have to fight. That's one of the good things about any, like, last dungeon in a game. Is like, you're like, okay, here's the last amount of this enemy I'm ever going to have to encounter, ever, that I'm never going to have to see it again. And it's true, after we're done with this, the ultimate annoying creating Dirigibug gauntlet, we will never have to fight them again, for which I'm very thankful. They probably belong in the 5th place for, like, most annoying, like, slash least favorite standard enemies in the game. Right behind, Spotty Bullbears, Gatling Groits, Fiery Bullexes, and standard Wallywogs. Actually, maybe even yellow Wallywogs deserve a place above that. Come to think of it, I hate Dwarf Bullbears. I hate Dwarf Bullbears too. Come to think of it, there's a lot of enemies that I hate. That was a Monty Python reference, in case you don't know. Monty Python, I know, like, the movie, Monty Python and the Holy Grail is literally one of my favorite movies, and I think one of the best comedy films ever made. But the show itself, actually, is really quite good, too. Though it takes a certain kind of taste in really bizarre, off-the-wall humor. And it's kind of like, I don't know, there are some people that I could tell that there are some people that would just not like the show. Like, I can tell there are some people that would just love the show, but I mean, they would love the movie. Holy Grail is a great movie. But the show might be harder to get into, because some parts of it are just like, there are certain kinds of senses of humor. And as another sealed exit there, as you can see, Dream Den loves to put those sealed exits in gas pipes. That's what the Dream Den loves. But, as I was saying, there are certain kinds of humor, and Monty Python just has that certain brand of humor. Like, it would be really false to say it's that quote-unquote British kind of humor, because, although that's true to a certain extent, like, if you watch any, like, British comedy shows that are on today, it's a different kind of humor, it's a different sensibility from the kind in Monty Python. There are some similarities, but I'd have to write, like, a freaking paper to kind of analyze, like, what the similarities are. They're that hard just to think about. Like, there are similarities there between, like, modern comedy today and Monty Python, but it's, like, different from SNL. And I'm gonna go ahead and say, I really hate what SNL has become. For the most part, I miss their older sketches. I love SNL's old, like, Saturday Night Live, in case you don't know. There are commercial parodies, but I just have no motivation to, like, ever watch Saturday Night Live now. Like, there are various, like, British comedy shows that I've watched, and I enjoy them infinitely more than SNL. Or at least what SNL has become today. Like, I have actually my parents got old VHS collections for SNL skits, like the old commercial parodies and stuff, narrated by, like, Phil Hartman, who is, by the way, awesome. In case you didn't know that, but now you know. And they are awesome. And although SNL still occasionally does commercial parodies, like, it's annoying. Like, their sketches just became more annoying these days. It's just hard to say, but I never really enjoyed, after, how should I say, there's a certain point, like, around the mid-2000s where SNL just became kind of like what The Simpsons is now. Just, something that someone like me with refined taste can't possibly appreciate. Yes, very refined taste. That's why I watch Video Brinketto bootleg films. Have I mentioned Video Brinketto before? I think I will mention it occasionally, because you've kind of gotten the idea of what this sublevel is about. Basically, it just puts an annoying combination of every kind of dweeble, gas pipes, fire vents, and electric nodes, and you just have to sneak by each one. Okay, basically, Video Brinketto is this, like, bootleg company, I think stationed somewhere in Brazil, that rips off, films made by Pixar, like Toy Story, or other animated movies, like, by DreamWorks, like Robots, or Little Panda, or, no, I mean, Kung Fu Panda. And what they do is they rearrange the words and the titles, and call them, like, Little Panda Fighter, or, like, Tiny Robots, and then they make their own really crappy versions of whatever that initial movie was. And if you can believe it, I've watched several of their films just to prove, like, how stupid I am. Like, seriously, there was no reason for me to do that, but I have watched the ripoffs of the following films. Ratatouille, a ripoff of Ratatouille. Tiny Robots, ripoff of Robots. Oh my god, this is happening right now. The pumpkin glitch. One of the most notorious glitches associated with this game is not the fact that the pumpkin disappears, but the fact that the pumpkin gets lodged in the wall, sometimes when a dweevil tries to carry it, and then kills the Pikmin that were attached to it. And now, this dweevil is murdering my Pikmin in addition. Look at this horrible, horrifying glitch. It makes the treasure nigh impossible to collect, and it kills Pikmin for stupid reasons, and now I'm stupid. So I really, really hate that glitch. It is one of the most notoriously wicked glitches in the game. Fortunately, the pumpkin actually managed to free itself from the wall, so we managed to actually recover it. So that was an awful glitch that gave us some cheap deaths right there. I would almost be tempted to reset for glitches, for glitch deaths, but just like in Pikmin 1 and the crushing glitch, you kind of just have to soldier onwards. Sure, we might have lost a few Pikmin from it, 12 as a matter of fact, because of the dweevil that killed the Pikmin while we were dealing with the glitch. And there's also an antenna beetle here, but you already knew that. You saw it fly around and let off its stupid little signal. But we're not going to bother killing it because the treasures aren't buried, they're in plain sight, they're in the highest alcoves and the highest tier of the grounds. And up here, we have the last treasure to get on the floor. Quite a few things stand in the way. But it doesn't look like the dweevil's trying to pick it up for whatever reason, so it seems like sometimes dweevils will only try to pick up treasures when you're carrying them away. It's almost like they're trying to guard the treasures. Kind of an interesting prospect. I think it might be true. But as I was saying, video Brinketto films I've watched. Ratatouille, ripoff of Ratatouille. Tiny Robots, a ripoff of Robots by DreamWorks, which was already kind of a bad movie. Little Bee, ripoff of Bee Movie. And there's actually another ripoff of Little Bee. Another ripoff of Bee Movie made by some other company called Plan B. And it's pretty much just as bad as Little Bee. It's impossible to tell you which one is worse. They're bad for their own reasons. And you can watch them all on YouTube. I mean, every single part of those movies has been uploaded onto YouTube, but it's obviously not worth it because they suck. I mean, how else am I supposed to say it? They suck. They're just awful. They are made to be awful. Like, they just look awful. Like, if they were supposed to be, like, the project of some high school, like, film student, like, an animation, I could let that go. I could let that by. I'd still be like, wow, this guy has a horrible sense of humor and no way how to do, and has no plans for how to make a movie. But at least I could say, okay, the quality of the animation is forgivable because it's not supposed to be that good. I mean, you're a high school student. But these are like supposed to be people who run an actual company, Video Brinketto, and yet their stuff is like the crappiest stuff I've ever seen. And there we go. Whoa. These dweevils are just so annoying. They keep grabbing. That's the one thing about it. If you kind of like don't fight the dweevils, they're gonna give you problems on the way down. It's just inevitable. And now that we have both the treasures on this floor, at long last, we can escape. We can escape this floor for good. I really hate this floor. There are just some floors of the Dream Den. This is my least favorite floor of the Dream Den, probably. Though I kind of hate the fourth one. It looks like that one Pikmin got called by the whistle. That's why he's following him around. Maybe... Can we kill that antenna beetle before we leave? There's really no reason. Yeah, screw the antenna beetle. Let's just get out of this dungeon while we can. I'm really tired of it. Oh, wait. No, not this I mean, this floor. I like the dungeon itself. It's just this floor. I really hate this floor. There are just some certain floors that you hate. And now I believe we actually have the rest floor of the dungeon, so this is the chance where, if you're feeling unsure about yourself, you can hop on the geyser and leave and take the treasures that you have with you so far, and then just return to do floors 10 through 14 later. This floor also has every kind of flint beetle in the game. I'm assuming they're all called flint beetles. And over here... Yeah, here's a flint beetle, an iridescent flint beetle. There is nothing else here to replenish your Pikmin's like flowers and stuff. So just make use of the nectar that you can get from what flint beetles there are. There is an iridescent glint beetle over here as well, and there are 2 doodlebugs up ahead in the second chamber. Normally this would be a great chance for us to get some more sprays, but because we didn't get any sprays, that's not really going to do us any good. So let's just flower these Pikmin up, and maybe we can get some more... there's really no reason to get anything else in this dungeon. I think this is the point where we should pretty much just head on downwards. There is a geyser, like I said, if you want to escape, but for us, we are getting very close to the end of the game. So, until next time, we will return to the Dream Den. See you then.